talk about some other time. Like,
yeah, that's it. I can't remember how you
that I want to get your advice.
I love the travel business. I've thought about travel ideas.
Well, you know what? I'll bend your ear for a few minutes at some other time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe tomorrow if you're around. Or
yeah, but I think we should do.
It's not so much. It's not so much like. I just want to. Yeah. It's like I don't know how a smart person who doesn't know this world says, look, how do I even do the workbook to say, okay, here's what this is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So we'll do 5-10 minutes. I have to be at somewhere at 5. Okay. So
you know a guy named Taylor Davidson?
Yeah.
He was my husband.
All right, ready when you guys are.
You ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Kevin, tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Kevin Arnovitz. I am an NBA writer and editor for ESPN.com, and I also edit the True Hoop Network, which is a collection of independent bloggers that ESPN works with to sort of personalize our coverage.
You work in a volatile industry, an industry that's always changing. Many journalists are scared about their future and always trying to stay up on the latest. How do you think about your career and your career strategy and how you stay relevant in a changing industry like that?
It can be anxiety-ridden because for a while, back in 2006 when I started an independent team blog, I felt, I'm ahead of the curve here and I understand this technology. The challenge has been the treadmill got moving so quickly that even now at ESPN as a writer and editor with all these resources, I feel like it's just the challenge of keeping up, of knowing whatever platform can help us do our job more. And the other thing is as a traditional writer, it used to be enough. I can string together good sentences. I can articulate themes that I think readers want. Now we know exactly what readers want, and so much of my job is distilling what I want to do as a writer on a given day versus what they want, and often that's not necessarily the same thing. So now you get pulled in different directions. It used to be as a writer, it was see no evil, hear no evil, do no evil, or say no evil. There were 3 evils. And now it's so much, okay, what do they want? What do they want? What do they want now? We need to consult them. And that process can be exhausting.
How do you stay up to date? One of the things and by the way, my voice is not going to be on good, just for you. One of the things we talk about in the book is network intelligence. How do you talk to people in your network, get valuable information about how the world's changing, how the industry's changing, what you need to know as a professional? Who do you talk to in your industry, or not your industry, to understand how to stay up to date? My blog, you may have been up to date in 2006. Who do you talk to and how do you talk to them to become a more competitive professional?
The first thing I do is go outside sports media, and it's just kind of a tried and true thing that I truly believe that, a friend of mine who works in Disney at Business Affairs, who is working to figure out, hey, how is television going to reinvent itself? There's somebody in media in a different platform that I find that aggregating his intelligence with a friend who might be in Silicon Valley. And for that matter, I know it's going to sound absolutely insane. Any 17-year-old I can get my hands on, I sit them down and say, how are you consuming this information? And in particular, if they're a sports fan. Because what I'm finding is that actually, ironically, sometimes you're just too close to the problem. And it's just the more I can extend my network outside of sports journalists, I'm so much better off.
How many of your journalist friends who are in old media jobs, working for newspapers and the like, how many of them have Plan B? How many of them do you think are ready to adapt? And what kind of advice do you give your colleagues who are not working for an internet property like yourself? What kind of advice do you give them if you're a beat reporter on a local paper?
What I say is you got to find something to do that nobody else is doing. This is my new thing, kind of my new mantra of advice, because I ran into a young freelance writer, talented kid, is writing sort of, does the restaurant, 25 and under type food criticism, that's been made very famous by Jonathan Gold in that genre. And I said, look, let me ask you a question. I'm a guy who loves restaurants. Why not? You know what I haven't seen? I haven't seen a slideshow of a restaurant. Rather than just write me 550 words that's going to sound exactly like every other review that's out there, why not incorporate something visual? Why not use a tool like Mashable to say, hey, here are the images. It's, food is so evocative. Now I'm using that as an example, just because what I wanted to convey to him is not so much that I need pictures of food, But that, look, if you are a food critic and you're 25 and you're finding that there are fewer and fewer of those jobs available to you, you're a freelance journalist, and you still want to do this for a living, you got to find a different way to present it. You got to do something that nobody else is doing. Every kid I've met in sports journalism that's gotten their first job as a full-time paid basketball writer, who came up as loggers not getting paid anything. Every one of them that got that job was doing it a slightly different way. They weren't imitating sort of the blog godfathers in the NBA, Henry Abbott or anybody like that. They were actually said, you know what, I got a new way to present this information. I got a new way to aggregate it, coalesce it, use video, and look, if you're imitating, you're pretending, and you just have to find a new way to present it.
Awesome. Competitive advantage. I like it.
Yeah. Is that good stuff?
That's good. We good?
By the way, I love that part of your thing, and it's funny. It kind of gave me a little ego boost because it was like in your talk when you said, "Look, go outside your network."
Yeah.
Because it's like something I like. Sports people don't really talk to them anymore. No. In fact, first of all, if I'm talking to them, I'm not getting a competitive advantage.
That's right. You have the mic on. Be careful your mic.
This was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Great. Well, wondering if you should provide a blog around too. There might be some kind of
I'll be sure.
so you know where it is.
It's in the
Yes, Boston Convention Center, 4th floor. I'll forward this to you. Room 19. I'll forward it to you.